Good evening, good evening, good evening again, folks. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do, the usual disclaimers. If you are unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, you're going to find all the pertinent links right there in your description box. Please, in particular, take note of the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read that article so much. They've threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. Well, folks, NeuroClastic has refused. You know the drill. Please read the article. Share it on all your social media. You're going to see NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center wants to see through with their threat. Trigger warning 1. Folks, when we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center, an agape boarding school for boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of disabled people and people with mental health issues being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please go ahead and utilize those headphones. Number 2, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they're watching this, very obviously, parental supervision is very much advised. All right. Back to where we left off, right? Based on the serious risks posed by ESDs for SIB or AB, the inadequacy of the data to support their effectiveness, and the positive benefit risk profiles of the state of the alternatives for the treatment of SIB or AB, FDA has determined the risks posed by the ESD for SIB or AB are important, material, or significant in relation to the benefits to the public health, and that ESDs present an unreasonable and substantial risk of illness or injury that cannot be corrected or eliminated by labeling. So basically, we're going over a few things again, folks, but it takes a second reading. Essentially, what it is saying here is it's talking about all the things that the GED does without naming the GED. And I've explained numerous times why this is a problem. Because it's bringing in a whole host of devices that are not a part of the debate and never have been till now because of the specific, extremely vague language being used by the FDA here. You got to name the device and ban it outright. Or they're going to keep dragging in all those unrelated electric skin shock devices to prop up this insanity. The fact of the matter is, if you use the word GED as opposed to a ESD, people would get the memo that it is that specific device that is causing all of these issues. Okay? Ever play pin the tail on the donkey? You know what I mean? By refusing to name the specific device that is caused so many visits to the ER, has caused catatonia, and a whole host of other issues, is not being named. And then, after refusing to name it, you decided to do a ban while using that vague language that is literally left up for interpretation, this is how we end up with this problem. Because look at this, already in distribution and use. The GED, folks, is not being distributed. It is not being used on the wider market for any form of treatment of any kind on anyone. So this would have nipped the DC Circuit Court's argument in the bud when they begin to infer regards to other devices. We have one device that has done and can be proven to have done everything the FDA is saying here. That device is not available on the wider market and is only being used in one place. The banning of this device should have been a cakewalk. But here we are in 2024, where we have been for over the last 4 decades. If I sound tired, folks, it's because I'm tired. But let's go ahead and continue, all right? FDA has decided to ban these devices under Section 516 of the FD&C Act. This rule applies to the devices already in distribution, as well as to the future distribution of these devices. The vulnerable population subject to ASDs or AB, like all individuals, are entitled to the public protections under the FD&C Act. But once again, you shot yourself in the foot by not naming the device. That is my number one beef, and that's what we're going to end with. You can't just describe the device, because those who already know. Those who don't know will think that you're talking to all electric skin shock devices, because that's the way they're making it sound here. You've done a major disservice, FDA, to the years and decades, the pain and suffering, the blood, sweat, and tears that every survivor, self-advocate, service provider organizations all over the world have put into ending this insanity. It was a real simple fix. It is coming on 3 years now. I'm going to go ahead and close on that, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to utilize those comments. I appreciate your time tonight. As always, we folks at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I'll see you again in a few minutes.